Okay, Kim, how are you? Briefly from the ground, we discussed what your possible causes of your leak is. Leaks are coming into the house right here. You know, here's your entranceway. This is where you were showing me where your leaks were coming in, all in this area throughout. And I told you that, number one, he's got the seam here, the racking. You see, there's the racking. In other words, there's a seam, there's a seam, there's a seam, there's a seam, there's a seam. He racked them. You can't put these shingles on like that. And they're crooked. They're scissoring. That's called scissoring. Then leaving a big space. And when you have spaces like this, or anywhere, even where they're tight on the roof, what happens is the rainwater comes down, right? And then, of course, there's a seam here. These shingles are butted, they're not mulled to each other. So it's about this shingle that extends from here all the way up to here. That's what's keeping the rainwater out of here, right? Okay, so naturally, water's gonna come down. It's gonna go underneath and like that, underneath the tab as far as it could reach. So as a roofer, you know, you don't put any nails over here underneath these shingles because it's going to get wet from the rain triangulating underneath the shingles. Depending on the pitch, it'll triangulate more or less. On a greater pitch, it'll triangulate a lot less. On a lower slope, it'll triangulate a lot more. So now, all I have to do is kind of come up here and start looking underneath shingles, and I'm going to find a surprise, because after 31 years of doing what I do, I'm usually always right. And the first thing I see, and the first shingle I look up, there's a nail blown through the shingle right directly in the seam where it don't belong. Okay? You said a funny thing to me while you were down there. You said, I'm the roof whisperer. Well, you're not the only one who believes that, and there's the proof. She's leaking there, and I guarantee if he's got a nailing pattern like this, I'm gonna find more and more areas of nails in these seams. So here's all your crash I told you about, where it's going to be leaking in the crash. So this is where I want to see, because this is where the fast water comes down and moves slow. No nail there. There's a nail right there. There it is. Right there. Right in that seam. So all that fast water, all this water comes down here, stops dead, crashes right into that, right where the nail is. So that's definitely going to leak. Might not be leaking now, but that's why it says your roof should be about 10 years old. And if it is, that's what's going to happen. After about 10 years, that's when you're going to start to see these nails in the wrong spot start to leak. Because these shingles, when they cure, they're going to shrink a little bit. You know? That's why you see the old days, when you used to look at the shingles, you used to see the tabs on them used to get really wide because they shrink. Kind of like shrinky dinks that we used to put in the oven when we were kids. Look at that. Blown right through the shingle, right in the seam. Definitely getting wet. It's wet now. So these are the kind of things we look for. You can't, look at that. Right in it. Right in it, right through it. Leaking. So, another one. Well, there's one thing my father used to say, and I still say it now. Can't fix stupid. So this is why everybody is not considered the same, and you should definitely hire yourself a certified master elite contractor or somebody equivalent so they can find out exactly what your problems are and solve them. This roof should have another 10 years left to it easy. You know, this is a Tamco Heritage roof. And we use GAF predominantly now, which is lifetime guarantee as well, but I'm going to recommend you get a new system on this house. I'm going to try to put some urethane, some Terra Palmer underneath there and try to stop those leaks for you, but just want to show you another concern of mine, which was down at that open valley there. See this? All the water is going to come from the top. It's going to get down in this channel, and it's going to ride it all the way to the end. So the heavier the storm, the more the water. And I'm going to show you something. So you come over here where this debris is, right? All this water is going to stop now. When it stops, it's going to want to go left and right and build up. It's not getting out. But what I was telling you is I don't know if you can see it here. Here, if you look up underneath these shingles here, see if I can get the camera in here. You look up underneath there, you see that little channel in there? That little channel in there is the only thing that keeps the water out. Okay? So all you gotta do is get the water to jump that channel, and she's gonna leak into the house. So a lot of times they leak because people step in them. And you step in it, it's easy to bend that tin material, aluminum, and cause a leak. So I'm just gonna get this stuff out of here now, and that should stop that for you. Okay, what I was telling you about the ventilation issues you got going on here, you want to take a look at that. I mean, he blew all the nails through all those shingles up there. You know, all those shingles are nailed too tightly. I could see all those nails from here. You know, I'm going to go up there a little bit though, get a close up. So let's see if I don't fall down. Okay, now, oh yeah, look at that, beautiful. Nails everywhere, everywhere. Look at this. Look at the way this ridge vent was installed everywhere. Look at all those nails. Every one of them are leaking, and every one of them are going to continue to leak and then leak more and more and more. So yeah, you got yourself an issue here. You had a roofer up here that obviously wasn't the smartest rock in the box, but you definitely should save up and get this roof redone. Alright? These problems are not going to stop because they're just getting started now. It needs to be ventilated better than this. That vent doesn't breathe really much at all. You know, it's very soft, kind of like a Scotch-Brite, really. It's like a 10-inch wide, 20-foot long, 1-inch thick piece of Scotch-Brite, if you know what that stuff is, like a scrubbing pad. It breathes, but it breathes minimal, especially when it's nailed all the way home like that. And in this case, it's leaking, and you're in threat of the wind blowing that stuff off of there on you. So, okay, let me get to work here, and I'll send you this video. Hopefully I could stop some of these leaks for you from now, and we'll speak to you in the future. Thank you for having us.